Good morning. This is Snippets. Yeah, so this is like a TikTok clone, or initially it was supposed to be a TikTok clone. It turned into something else a bit. But the idea is that there is a sort of two user stories here. There's one as the content creator, and there's one as the consumer. So you can think of the consumer as the person actually consuming the content, and the content creator creating the content. Self-evident, but worth mentioning in the sense that this app is focused on the content creator workflow. So you sign in here. Before you can do anything else, you need to connect to GitHub. You can see in your profile whether or not you're connected here, but this kind of just forces you right out the gate if you want to do anything. So we'll uh, connect that up. You'll see immediately that this allows us to start a new coding session. And again, like you go here and you'll see that you are connected to GitHub, blah, 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 just to mention. So there's two modes here. There's one where you can record your screen, and there's another one where you can do kind of like an editor session. So the first, I'd say 5-6 days, I worked on this screen functionality, and then I was unhappy with the result. And I'll show you why. So the idea here is that you can pair your mobile device with your desktop device because you're not typically coding on your phone. So we'll go to the companion app on our desktop device. We will paste, I mean, in most cases you wouldn't actually paste. Maybe you'd paste using the connected pasty thing. But okay, so here now we can select a repository. This is optional. It's just if you want to associate your recording with a GitHub repository. This connects up with your repositories that you connected with on your mobile device. So I'll just pick something at random here. And when I hit start recording here, it'll ask me for a choice in which window I want to share, or which tab, or which screen. So I didn't really prep this, but we can do this, let's say. And why don't I make this a little nicer to look at? Okay. And we'll get back our phone here and put this on top just so we can see what we're doing. So you can already sort of see the issue here. This isn't even, this is odd, right? Like it's not even, this is the one it's looking at. So there's all kinds of gotchas with this, right? Like, so you can see here that I can't even see the writing until it gets over here. I can put this in a landscape. I tried this out. This is like getting a lot better, right? So, there's things you can do like that. You can also just make the text really big. So now, so like what if I actually record this? So starting to record now, testing out this in a demo setting. Okay, and then I can do this. This will process the video, and in a moment, it will be processed. It usually doesn't take this long. There we go. Okay, so then you're plopped into an editor, and you can play. This is just normal playback, and I mean this works, right? And it's for what it is, it actually works pretty well. We have different like functionality here where you can like add a bookmark. So this is we'll add it like at the wherever the playhead is down here. So right now it's at 0. And if we put it over here and add it here, you'll see it has a timestamp, random bookmark, and we can bring it back here and then click in here and then it'll bring us back. And then there's also a overlay here and the associated GitHub stuff. You can take a look at the different things. So this is the latest commit, and that'll just take us right there. So that's pretty handy. There's different things. I had quite a bit of like stuff in that way. Yeah, so I spent quite a bit of time on doing that. And then there's this recording screen where all your recordings are listed, and you can click in again. Right, so pretty simple so far. And then I will show you the new editor setting. This is what I've been working on for the last 3 or so days. It's trying to solve the problems or the pain points of the workflow that I showed you. So if we refresh this and connect, that didn't work. There we go. let's try that out. Perfect. Um, and let's pick another repository here. So if we launch this editor, now you'll see that we have a web-based editor, and this is hooked up to the mobile app as like a kind of preview. I would like to mention that in both cases here, the preview that's on the mobile device while we are paired is not really all that useful. It's just basically demonstrating what it would look like on mobile eventually during playback for like other users. So, I mean, you can also initiate the recording on mobile because the app is supposed to be mobile first. And in this case, we could also hit record here, and these are actually synced up. So it's pretty handy. You could record here, record here. Either way, it works. But you'll see that this is pretty cool. Of course, like the time thing is in the way. That's something I need to think about a little bit more. But yeah, this is much better. You can tell just because like we have total control over how it's formatted in the mobile screen, in terms of like the font size, like the layout, like just a much better solution in every way. So if we do actually start recording this, hello world, this is a demo of the code editor functionality. You can still run into the issue of long lines. So this is true, right? If you turn this landscape, then you can go even further, but landscape is great. Yeah, so do that. And so if we end this recording here, and then we're brought into an edit screen, like it's very similar workflow. All in all, we don't have a processing step here because it's just really text. So we don't really need to process text. Like this web editor is just sending text to the mobile instead of sending video. So we can play that back and you'll see that that works actually really well. What I didn't show you is actually the syntax highlighting, but this is all like hooked up with syntax highlighting. So if I write, like this, you'll see that this is a little bit highlighted at least. And the same would go for mobile. So if I save this, cool. So now we have these two different modes. And you'll see that this has a thumbnail as well that's made out of that. And yeah, that's kind of what I have so far. The next step would be to add some like neat AI stuff into here because I have like total control over the whole sort of like end to end from here to back to here with this editor workflow. And I have control over all of the data. I'm not working with pixels as I am with the screen. I'm working with just raw text. There's so much opportunity to do stuff in there. So I'm pretty excited about that. Cool.